and welcome to Cindy's Stamping Corner. This is another card in March's stamp set of the month. Has an unusual, slightly unusual fold in as much as it lifts up, and then the bit that you're going to write on lifts out. Our stamp set this month is Moon Lake, and it contains lots of lovely images that are great for watercolouring technique, and that's really the focal point of the cards for this month. So in your supply pack you will have the following: a piece of your card base. This is in craft card. You'll have a piece of very vanilla. This is going to be the loose for the loose insert. 2 pieces of designer series paper, and then 2 pieces of card that you're going to be stamping your images on. A couple of pieces of ribbon, a sponge, and some candy dots. So the first thing that we're going to be working on is the image with the duck, and you'll see from the stamp itself it only has the bulrushes on one side. I want to have it on both sides, so I'm going to show you a little masking technique. This is the stamp, and we're going to be using Stays On. This is a solvent based ink which won't run when we put the watercolour ink on it. So to start with, I'm going to put my image here. You'll see that I've already masked it off with some adhesive tape, and I'm just going to remove that before I stamp it on my card, and then just place it to the left, and then I'm going to ink up the whole of the image and then pop it toward the right. Now I'm not looking to line anything up. If it's not quite level, that doesn't matter to me, because nothing's straight and level in nature. So once we have the image, then we're going to do some watercolouring, and I'm going to show you my technique. I prefer to use the stamping markers, and I lay down some ink. I'm using the Hello Honey, the Baked Brown Sugar. This is Lost Lagoon, and I'm using the brush end because that'll lay down more ink. And then finally, this is the Mossy Meadow. I'm also using a blender pen. This is clear white when you look at it, but it's actually got some moisture. I'm not quite sure whether it's water or alcohol, but it helps to blend the ink in. And so basically you're going to be picking up some ink and then running it out until it's diluted, because you can always put more ink on, you can't take it off. Now I've already made a start, and I've done my bulrushes in the green and the top there with the Hello Honey, and then I've decorated up my duck. I think he's a duck. And then what I'm going to do with my my ink is I'm just going to lay it down, and you can see as I run it down, it gets faded as the ink leaves the pen. Just go back and reload, and then just take it down as the mood takes you. Very relaxing. There we go, like that. I think that'll do. To clean these blender pens, you're just going to run them out on your piece of paper until the colour is gone. You'll still see that there's a little dark mark there, but that's not going to affect your future use. Just make sure you put the cap firmly on to stop it drying out. Now if you don't have the blending, the marker pens, you can use your re-inkers. Just put a tiny dot on your surface, and then again with your blender pen make sure you run out to dilute it as much as possible. And if you don't have the re-inkers, then use your stamp pad. Just give it a good squeeze in the middle, open it up, and then you've got your palette. You'll be able to pick your ink up from there. So there's different ways that you can get your ink for your watercolouring. So now that I've finished my colouring here, I'm going to sponge with Sahara sand around the edges. And then with my distressing tool, I'm going to rough the edges up as well. This is a great little tool. If you don't have one, I would certainly invest in one. Since I kind of saw this card as working for a guy, it struck me that roughing up the edges would just kind of make it a little bit more masculine. Now, if you don't have a distressing tool like this, you can use a pair of scissors, open them up and run the blade along like this, but just be really careful that you don't cut yourself on those blades. So once that image is finished, we can move on. Now I've used the Stays On ink and stamped "The question is not what you look at but what you see" on the other piece of card in your pack, and I've sponged and distressed the edges again as well. The insert, I've sponged and distressed the edges on that as well. And then on my base card, I have distressed the edges on the two short ends. So we can start to assemble our card now. I'm just going to put the folds in with my bone folder, and then with my snail adhesive and one of the pieces of the designer series paper, I'm going to attach that to the bottom of my card there, like that, press firmly. And then with my two pieces of ribbon, I'm going to put the first one on, and with my glue dots, I'm going to attach, overlap in the middle and attach those down. And I don't want the ribbon to actually stick itself to the card. I want it to be movable. And I'm going to use the crushed curry 1/8 taffeta and just line it up in the middle here like that. And I'm going to get another little glue dot next to it, pull it firmly and pull it down, and then you're able to move it around and get it into exactly the position that you want it to be. Our join is going to be covered with this piece, and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. There we go. And then just pop that in the middle. Now I have my ducky piece, and I'm going to put some more dimensionals on the back of that, and then off with the backings, and I'm going to pop that, center it up, press firmly. My insert, it's not behaving itself, there we go. And then finally some candy dots, and I'm just going to put those on my sentiment here. like that. Oh, got a little fibre in there. Oh, and I've got an escapee in a different colour. Oh, he wants to join the party. There we go, off we go. So there we are. A really good card for a guy, and I'm always looking for good ideas for cards for the fellas in my life. So I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.